And guess what? We're talking about King Boris.
What?
King Boris.
What are you talking about, Alexander the Great?
So, all right. So what we'll do later on, we're going to talk about. We've got a Greek in the house, so we're going to talk about Alexander the Great and the conquerors of India.
Alexander the Great was a Punjabi. He wasn't a Greek.
Slow down, you.
Shots fired. Now, King Boris was a Punjabi, and he pushed him back. So one of the things that I've spoken about previously, and we're going to speak about today, is about how depression is a real kind of like silent killer of young men, in the sense that one of the highest rates for people kind of dying within the age group of 18 to like 30 is actually suicide. And obviously depression is a big issue worldwide in all communities, no matter where you come from. And different communities kind of handle depression in kind of different ways. Like, I think for the Sikh community, Sikh Punjabi community, the way they kind of handle it is through drink. And they kind of like, they use drink to kind of, and I used to do that, I used to drink. So until 6 years ago, and I stopped drinking. And I defeated depression after I stopped drinking. Yeah, so what I say about alcohol is that it's like a plaster on the wound. You feel better for the day, but long term, you can only really deal with it when you stop and kind of focus on what the problem is. And alcohol and stuff like that, kind of what I call it just kind of like skewers your kind of mind frame. So is there any questions you want to ask?
No, nothing much. I was just saying that, I've been through depression back in 1995. I was in college, I went to college doing a course. But it didn't work out well. I got so depressed because my parents wanted me to do well and all that. That's when I was 19, I'm 42 now. So I wanted to quit my college, my course. I couldn't do it. I wanted to just go back, carry on doing what I was doing at Tesco, just do a full-time job at Tesco. I was a part-time employee there. Parents wouldn't have it. No, the Indian mentality, you have to study, do well, and make something of yourself. Have to get a decent job, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now, that's the mindset I had, back then. Then I came to a point where I can't do this course. It's too tough. I can't do the lessons, what the lecturer is telling me. I can't understand. Learning computer studies, computer programming, and the Pascal language is difficult. I can't understand it. So trying to do sort of concentrate on the lessons, get me nowhere. I'm doing all my homework wrong, getting bad marks. Eventually I quit. I thought, hell with it, I just quit. And after I quit, I went through a bad depression. I was suffering with, I'll tell you what it was. Have you heard of ME? It's like a chronic fatigue syndrome. Oh yeah, I've heard tired and you can't get up in the mornings, that kind of thing. Yeah. That's what happened to me. That whole year, 1995, was like one of my worst years. The whole year I couldn't sleep properly. I used to go to bed at 2 in the morning, wake up at 5, go back to bed again, and wake up at 12 in the afternoon. And that's what I went on, suffered that for 8-10 months. And I was so depressed, I had this ME illness, it made it worse. The doctors diagnosed me with it. And they put me on antidepressants. They put you on that. That makes you even more sleepy, the side effects and all that. And I didn't know what was going on. I was ill for so long. Eventually, I'll tell you, by about December of that year, so almost a year, January 95, December 95, I started getting better. Right? Okay, they put me on some new medication that made me better. So then the following year, about another 3 months later, so like mid-1996, got my confidence back. Started looking for another job. I quit my job at Tesco's anyway. Got another job with a career firm, and I just carried on working. So since then, so sort of mid-96 till now, I've been doing different jobs, working. I've had unemployment gaps, had a bit of setbacks, but I just move on, carry on.
Have you suffered from depression afterwards, or is it that sporadic?
It's been the last. I'll tell you. I'll be honest here. The last sort of, I'd say the last sort of 8 years. I did have a relapse in 2010, but that was only for about 3 months. I pulled myself out. So sort of last 8 years, I've done quite well. And being a bit more, confident. I like to crack jokes. I like a bit of comedy. Watch comedy videos like Chris Rock, Chris Tucker, and Dave Chappelle. These people, they make me laugh, and it makes me feel better. I start laughing, and I forget about my problems. And I feel that I can, just carry on my life.
But you did seek it, you sought help though?
Yeah, I went counselling as well. I did go counselling. Even back then, back in 95, I was going counselling. Again in 2010, I went counselling. So I've been, and it helped me. I talked to a counsellor, talked to police. They tell me the best way to do it is just train your mind, tell you that there's nothing wrong with you, you're fine, and just be happy with your life. Don't be sad. Anything gets to you, just try and turn it to a positive, positive aspect. Don't turn anything to a negative aspect. If you do that, you get worse. You go even more deeper down. You get worse.
Well, this is the problem when you
have to lift yourself up.
When you're in a depressive state, you think you're in a black, dark well, and you don't think there's no way out. But there is a way out.
That's what I went through.
One of the things you need to do, like you suffered depression for like a year. I went through 13 years straight.
13 years.
Like, literally like from
on and off the last.
So
why, Raj?
Why? Because when I graduated, there was a lot of pressure from my family to, like, the Asian family, they want to conform you to a certain way. And there's a lot of pressure, and I'm not that type of guy. I'm not that type of guy. I like my own space, I like to do certain things my way. I'm very stubborn, and so it kind of agitates people around you. And so over the time, when I graduated, I got a degree, but I didn't fulfill what I thought I could because of my anxiety. So I got top of the class, but I never got a job in that field. And so stuff like that kind of starts getting you down, especially, and I stopped drawing as well for 13 years. And for me, art is therapy. So for me, I've realised now, when I stopped drawing for those 13 years, I was extremely depressed and suicidal. So I do say the word suicidal, and the thing is that he's laughing at the most inappropriate time.
He's not laughing.
He said some fucked up shit to me.
There's
Stop talking to me.
So the thing is, don't talk to me when we're talking about suicide, man. So basically, when you talk about stuff like suicide, a lot of people kind of go, oh. But the thing is, there are a lot of men that are suicidal. Like, because they can't say it, they kind of hide their.
This goes on in my two. I'm mixed here. I'm Armenian Indian. My mum's an Indian Catholic from Mumbai. My father's an Armenian from India. Now the Armenians, yes, they are very traditional, like the Indian.
Get about it,
they do speak about when they're going from something. They will speak about it. But I know with the Indian Catholics, they don't want to talk about it.
I mean, the
Punjabis, they like the
Punjabi
brush something in the carpet. They tell you there's nothing wrong with you.
I get,
laugh at you, crack jokes at you, and say you're this and that.
Anyone knows the Punjabi Sikh community, like one way
they don't help you out.
When you was sometimes I'd be drinking because I used to drink a lot, and you'd be drinking, and when you're drinking, you might say something about your problems, and they're like, oh, leave it, Randy, come on, have a drink. They don't want to hear it. So what happens? You start drinking more, and next thing you know, like, you're completely comatose. I mean, I'm gonna say I nearly died once, and I fell asleep, and I got hypothermia. A lot of people think I didn't live. I lived quite a lot. But one of the things is that I used to drink so much. One time I fell asleep, and I was left alone somewhere in a car park, and then what happened? Next thing I know, I was working in the hospital. I was there for 2 days.
What's a lot, Raj? What's a lot?
I'm not. When I say I drink a lot, I don't like alcohol, the taste of it. Yeah, but when I drink, when I go out, I'd get comatose. Like, I'm a type of person. If I have one, I'm gonna have to have like 10. I can't just do one. But I wouldn't drink every day. When I did drink, it was like a full-on binge drink, and then I won't remember a thing what happened afterwards. And that was it's like what I said is like when you do drink like that, it's like putting a plaster on the wound, and you can't solve your problem because that once a week that you're going out, you're kind of just putting things on the back burner. When I started dealing with my issues, this is why I'm going to talk about alcoholism, is when I stopped drinking. I haven't drank for 6 years or no intoxication.
No, you don't. Well, that's very good.
Yeah, and the reason being is because, like, when you drink, you kind of like are kind of like not focus on what the issues are. You've got to see what the problem is and try and deal with it. Like with me, I started drawing again.
Yeah, that's very good.
And I draw all the time. And a lot of people don't understand, like when I'm drawing, I'm working, that's my job as well.
Exactly.
And so I'm doing something I love to do, I'm getting paid for it, and it's a hobby, and it's therapy for me as well. So a lot of people say, oh Raj, you spend all your time by yourself in your room. I love it. What's the big deal with you?
Nothing wrong with that.
So you do what you think is good, like what you prefer. I'll be honest with you, when I stopped drinking, I cut off everybody I knew. I know it's drastic. I didn't.
If they're bringing you down, then you have to.
Yeah, because if someone's phoning you up and they go, oh, let's go out and drink, and that's all they talk about, then you know that person is a negative force. So for me, I did a drastic decision. I was like, all right, if I want to live, I either push forwards and stop drinking, or I stick around with these people that are dragging me down. They weren't doing it on purpose. So all I did is they call like TNT Greeks, and I just ignore and I ignore and I ignore until they get fed up. And a year later, they just stop calling. Yeah, and that's how you do it. And if they come to the house, they open the door. And so after a while, they get the message, because most people, when you say you don't want to talk, they're like, oh yeah, you do want to talk. And so for me, I did it that way. And if you look at, I'm going to start showing pictures of my younger days. I did have a lot of friends, loads. But all of them, if I see them, I'll try and avoid them or say, all right, for a minute and just walk off. So for me, I prefer be like, the thing is, for people, some people I prefer to be alone. Yeah? And that's what makes them happy. I like to be alone. For the rest of the week, I love it, I just draw. And when I come here, I have my little fun down here. That for me is a good life for me. It may not be for everybody else, they think it's sad. But to me, I'm happy. So what I'm trying to say is do what you feel happy with, not what the social pressures are. Because you know the Asian community, like from your perspective as well, like, you know, they put a lot of pressure on you to be a certain way.
Too much.
Yeah, way too much. So this is one, you don't want to film, but he's one of my Sikh bros. And so he knows the Punjabis. Are you Punjabi yourself?
No, Catholic, Indian Catholic, my mum's side.
Your family from the Punjab?
They were Christian Indians, yeah. Well, not Punjab, no, from Mumbai.
Oh, Mumbai, right.
Calcutta, my dad's from Calcutta.
Yeah.
But he's an Armenian from Calcutta.
All right.
Yeah, so,
yeah, but you know that the Asian
I'm part of the Indian Christian community.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Asian culture has this very, very kind of like high standard that you've got to be a particular way. Like when I was born, I was told I was going to be a doctor. Like literally, your name's Dr. Lejinder. And so I had this pressure of being a doctor.
I was told I was going to kebab
This
shop.
is why I'm not squeamish with the photo, like operation and stuff, because I was
kebab shop.
always told to have a look at it. So when I decided to go into design and do art, it was seen as a very negative thing in the Asian community. And that kind of puts a lot of pressure on you to kind of like conform to like being a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. And that's very, very prevalent within the Asian community generally, whether you're Muslim, Sikh or Hindu. So that kind of thing. So did you want to say anything about the Sikh Punjabi problem with alcohol and stuff?
Yeah, it's not being tackled or addressed, you know, still being brushed under the carpet. And
you're from Southall.
Yeah.
So Southall, like, what's so? I'm going to say something. One of the most
alcoholic, drug-related communities is in Southall.
Definitely.
Unfortunately. And I think a lot of it's down to pressures. A lot of it's down to you can't say this, or you can't do this, or you can't. You're not made to feel that you can.
Exactly. There's a lot of stigma with mental health.
Alcoholism.
No, it's with mental health as well. When people hear the word mental health, like even with, I won't say the person's name, I said this person has mental health issues. And when I say mental health, I mean depression and anxiety and stuff. But when you say that word, especially in the Asian community, they think you're saying someone's crazy. Like, you know, they got a kind of like schizophrenia or something like that. Mental health is very, very, very prevalent within the Asian community as well, in all communities. But you can't talk about it. Like when I started talking about it, people start flinching, like, oh, why are you talking about it? Yeah, and also myself, like I said, I got diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome when I was 6 years ago. And all that as well is something that's not talked about in the Asian community, because when you see a little kid that's a little bit weird, all you say is, oh, he's just a bit weird. And you ostracize that little kid, because I'm quite ostracized. A lot of people say I'm a little bit weird, but I am quite ostracized from my community as well to a certain degree, because I like to stick by myself. Yeah? And so all of this kind of stuff builds up pressure as you go older with depression and stuff, which is why I started drinking, to socialise. I never used to drink to, I didn't like the taste of it.
I mean, a lot of the Asian, sorry to...
Yeah, go on.
But a lot of the Asian communities, unfortunately, they want to fix the problem by getting you married off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They want to...
Yeah, that's always their solution.
Actually, that's what I wanted to
That's
ask.
the solution. They always say, and even people
have to get married, you have to have a house, big flash car and all that.
Even on the comments here, people say
materials and money with them.
People always say, Raj, get married.
Person, you know?
Some people are not cut out to be married. I'll be suffocated. I've said the only time I get married is if I can find an orphan.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not going to have an extended family. I don't even like my own extended family. Why do I want another one? Yeah. So I don't really go to family weddings and stuff like that. I just stay to myself. So when people keep on trying to, what it is, people try and put you in a box, and if you're not within that box, then you're a loser or there's something wrong with you.
They don't see the hypocrisy
exactly.
in themselves. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, one of the things is with the alcohol thing, for anyone that knows Southall, remember Glassy Junction?
Yeah. That's a restaurant now, vegetarian restaurant.
Yeah, I know, but it was so shameful. So this is the Punjabi Sikh bit. We had a temple, and right across the road was a Sikh pub. And I remember once or twice when I used to go down there, people would go into the temple and walk across the road, go into the pub, walk back. Yeah, and you're not supposed to. You're not allowed to go into the temple. So this kind of
intoxicated. You can't go in.
This kind of like culture of. I mean, that was in terms of a cultural pub, a Punjabi pub. It was a nice pub, but Sikhism. Let me just say, you're not supposed to drink under Sikhism. It's prohibited. All intoxicants. And one of the problems I have is whenever I meet someone. And I told them Sikhs are not allowed to drink. Do you know what they say? Oh, I thought they were.
Because all of them do.
Yeah,
most of them drink.
But what I'm saying, the perception is that Sikhs are allowed to drink.
Yeah.
And Sikhs are not allowed to drink. It's prohibited, all intoxicants. But the reputation of Punjabi Sikhs is so prevalent of being hard drinking that most people think when a Sikh doesn't drink, they're abnormal. Like when I say I don't drink, oh, I didn't know, I thought Sikhs drank. So this is the kind of thing I want to talk about, rather than, because big up to Big Ards. So Big Ards has kind of said that he wants to tackle the grooming epidemic, and I'm going to give him some breathing space because he's taken the brave move to try and tackle it openly. So rather than talking about, I'm not going to talk about that, but what I will talk about is stuff like depression, alcoholism and stuff like that I can tackle within my own community as well. Does anyone else want to say something? Because then we can kind of wrap it up and then maybe continue it next time.
No, it's good.
Is that all cool?
Cool, yeah.
Everybody happy?
Yeah.
No.
Where can we get some help on, like, if you're suffering from depression? Are there groups? Are there numbers, websites?
You've got places like Tash Foundation. They helped me a lot years ago.
Yeah, so what I did, I went to, because if you're back, because my doctor is a family friend, and I didn't want to tell him stuff. Obviously not going to say nothing, but it's embarrassing when you know someone that well. So I went through an organisation called Mind, M-I-N-D.
There's a lot of them around.
And you can ring them up and you can get a free appointment.
Yeah.
And the one thing I'll say about counselling from a man's perspective, when I was first decided to do it, I thought it was complete rubbish. But I went back 3 separate times. Yeah, because it is good to talk to a person that you don't know, who is going to kind of like just listen to you and just they don't even give you advice.
That's what I had with Tash Foundation. I was there for 2 years. About 2 years I got with them. 2006, 2007. And that, I had a relapse back then. I got well. After I got well, I went on holiday, went to New York, again went to Toronto, had a fantastic holiday. And after coming back from holiday, I just felt so much better. So mid-2007.
See, some people would find a holiday being relaxing.
That's
I hate
what I
holidays.
did that. Relaxing.
For me, when I went to LA for free, I was flown out twice. I hated it. I'm not lying. And it was such, for me, a good time to relax is to go into my room, close the door, not speak to no one for like 2 weeks, and draw.
There we go.
Yeah, that's my thing that I like. So some people find it weird, but for me, I don't need that contact if I don't need it. I prefer to be by myself, and I've got a hobby, which is very therapeutic. When I'm drawing, I'm completely focused, so it doesn't matter if the world's blowing up. When I'm in a drawing and I'm in the middle of it, you know, all of my worries are gone for that particular time frame. So people need to kind of just do things that relax them, not what people want them to do.
It's true. Some people use the gym like that. They go to the gym and they just run and they forget about everything.
They help the mind as well, gym.
I mean, no, it's good to sort of bury yourself in a particular type of work for a particular time, and that way you completely lock out everything else.
I wouldn't recommend going Speaker's Corner though.
Speaker's Corner is not one of those places.
Like I'll be honest with you, for me, this is therapeutic. I love coming Speaker's Corner and having a little bit of a kind of confrontation. It's something that I thrive, I love it. And then I go back home and I stay, and they're right, I do teleport to Speaker's Corner. I do, yeah. I go in my room, I shut that door, and as little human contact as possible, yeah, I try to achieve for a week. Yeah, the minimum I'll do is to go outside and just go shops and stuff like my family. And for me, that is what I'm happy with. So people judging online say, oh, Raj, your life's sad. You're sad for watching me, you little turd. So I'm happy. So they're angry that I got more talent in my little pinky finger than they got in the whole body. And I'm working, doing a job I love, and I'm doing something. I've changed my life for. What I did was that I just decided that I'm going to live my life for myself and my family, and regardless of what people think. Yeah, unfortunately, if you're married with kids, that's going to be problematic. If you've got family and kids, you've got to think about them. You don't want them to suddenly starve to death or something. You know, you come home and, you know, it's like your wife's dead or something. You didn't feed it. So I'm joking, but I'm just saying, I haven't got those, what I call responsibility. So my particular lifestyle is geared towards myself, what I like. Yeah,
But isn't that a bit selfish?
Yeah, I've been very selfish. My family have been really angry and they've told me off for a long time. I still get stick once in a while, but what I say to them is that, look, I'm happy, I'm making a living. Do you want me to be here or you don't want me to be here? They saw me how I was before. I was a drunken idiot, nearly died. So although it looks quite selfish, and it is very selfish, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a very selfish person like that. They would rather be me be here, not drinking and you know, being relatively happy than being what I was before. So yeah, you do what you do. But my family is upset.
Good stuff.
Anyway, then that's it then. We'll try and keep this series going.